This week, we're going to look at GOES imagery. How do we get it? How do we plot it? And what kind of corrections do we need to make? Welcome to another MetPy Monday. Hello, I'm John Lehman, a software engineer for Unidata. This week, I want to look at GOES imagery. It's something we've touched on a little bit in the past, but it's something that we haven't really fully explored. We can get the data relatively easily, as we'll see this week, but there are also some corrections that we need to apply, especially if we want to make a true color image. And we'll look at those in subsequent MetPy Mondays. But first, let's just try to get some data and get it on a plot. I'm going to have a big block of imports here. From date time, I'm going to import date time, so we can specify when we're looking for in the data. I'm going to import cartopy.crs as CCRS. Import cartopy.feature as CFeature. I'm going to import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Import MetPy. From metpy.plots, I'm going to import add timestamp. Import numpy as np, and finally from siphon.catalog, I'm going to import the threads data server catalog, TDS catalog. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, because we're going to get multiple channels of data, especially when we want to make a red, green, blue image, so I'm going to define a function that will open up a data set and return it to us. I'm going to call my function openDataSet. It's going to take a date, the channel from the Advanced Baseline Imager, or ABI, on the GOES satellite that we want, an index or image number in the images that we've received that day, and a region, which would be CONUS Mesoscale 1 or Mesoscale 2, or the full disk image. Okay, so we got to put our doc string in. Remember, we always need to document our functions. Open and return dataset from GOES for given parameters. We're going to first get the catalog by creating an instance of TDS catalog, and you can go navigate through the threads data server to find this URL that we're going to type, but it's threads.ucar.edu/threads/catalog satellite GOES. I'm going to use GOES East products. Go ahead and line wrap, make an F string here, cloud and moisture imagery. Then my region, the channel, and then a 2-digit 0 padded channel number. That's :02D. There we go. And then our date, and we're going to specify the formatting as year, month, day, catalog.xml. All right, so then we'll get our data sets, our data set that we want from cat.datasets, and index into it with the index that's provided in the call to the function. Then I'm going to use remote access, use Xarray, and set that to true. So we get an Xarray data set back and return the data set. For the date, going to use the 2nd of February 2023. Region, I want the whole CONUS. And index, I'm going to use index 220. That's when the whole CONUS is light. All right, so now we need to go get our channels. Our red data set is open dataset, our date, our channel number, which is 2, our index, and our region. The channel numbers are listed, all 16 channels of the ABI and documentation that's very easily searchable by Go's ABI Imager channels, and it tells you all about what the different channels can see. There is no green sensor. There's a near-infrared veggie band, we call it. It's sensitive to chlorophyll. And that is channel 3, index region, and blue, open dataset, date 1, index region. And we see we get an error. It's a 404 error, which means we probably have something wrong with our URL. And we do. We need a capital A there. And we need a slash there. There we go. Now we're going and we've got those data sets. If I wanted to, I could look at the blue data set and see we get our X-ray data set back. It's got dimensions of 3,000 by 5,000. Interestingly enough, the red data set is actually double the resolution, 6,000 by 10,000. So we're going to need to decimate that. And we're also going to need to work on the data a little bit because we want to make sure that it's in a valid range. For one thing, these data are reflectance that should be between 0 and 1, but sometimes something's out of range. So we need to make sure that we clip that, do a little bit of data pre-processing, especially before we go off and do math on the data. So I'm going to use the np.clip function, and I'm going to insert the data into a dictionary with the keys being red, veggie, and blue, and the values being the actual data values. So if we do that, create my dictionary data, my red channel is np.clip, and that is on my red dataset. Sectorized, as we see up here, sectorized CMI, cloud moisture imagery. Is our data variable. And then I want to decimate it in both dimensions by 2. I want to clip into the valid range 0 to 1. So if we run that, just make sure that works as we expect. And it's going to take a little bit. Remember, the red data set is relatively sizable. We're looking at still, even after decimating by 2, 3 by 5,000 roughly. Okay, so that ran for us. So now we're going to do the same thing for the veggie and blue channels, except they do not need the decimation. And while that's running, we can start thinking about how we're going to do our plotting. So we know that we're going to need a figure. I'm going to create plot.figure. Let's go with the fig size of 10 by 10. Going to need an axis. I'm going to call fig.addSubplot. 1 row, 1 column, first axis. The projection. Well, we need the projection. We'll call it proj. But we're going to need that information. Well, where can we get that? Well, we can use the MetPy accessor on one of these data sets. I'm going to call it dat as our blue data set, .metpy, .parsecf of our sectorized cloud moisture imagery variable. And then we can get the projection from dat.metpy.cartopy CRS. Our x variable will then be .x, and our y location variable .y. Okay, so that takes care of our projection. If we want to, we can add some features, such as coastlines. We can add states, and we'll make that a dotted line. with a black edge color. And maybe we'll add borders, since this is going to be a pretty wide view, conus from goes east. We'll make those line width of 2 as well. All right. And let's just call IM show. We've talked about IM show P-color and P-color mesh before. That's a very handy video if you haven't seen that one. And we could get, let's say, our data. Maybe let's plot blue. All right. The extent of our image. X-min, X-max, Y-min, Y-max. And the origin is the upper. So otherwise, we have origin in the lower left corner of the plot. And images generally have 0, 0 in the upper left corner, as does this. We can add a timestamp using the add timestamp function, but we need to know what that timestamp is first. And this is straight from the examples, actually, but there is a start date time attribute on our data set that we can parse using string parse time. And it is year, Julian day, hour, minute, second format. Then we can use the add timestamp function. Our axis, set time to be timestamp. Use high contrast, which is an outline mode. We could set some pretext to be goes 16, space, the time format. Oh, let's set it to be a little fancy here. Hour, minute, and then a Z for Zulu. But our Y position in, font size is going to be 18. Oh, and that's start date time. And there's the blue channel. So goes 16/02 February. That's what the capital B designator is month name. Year, hour, minute, Z. So that looks pretty good, but we know that we can create red, green, blue images with IM show. So let's try to create one of these. I'm going to call it color image in our data. I'm going to use the dstack function to put arrays together. And we'll get data red, data veggie, red, green. Now we're missing blue, data blue. Let's put those together. And let's change blue down here to be color image. Now we get our plot. Well, it is a color image, but it's not correct. It's nowhere near this green, especially in February here in the US. This is much, much too green, and that's because that band is sensitive to chlorophyll in the near IR band, not really green visual. So stay tuned. Next week, we're going to talk about some ways that we can correct this to make it look like a more true-to-life image. I hope that you found this useful, and I'll see you on next week's MetPy.